Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Michaela and I'm going to show you today how to do a binding strap without having a cover stitch machine or even an overlocker. So I want to show you how I'm doing a binding strap just with my normal sew machine. So I'm going to cut here a straight piece so it's easier for you to understand. So this will be my main fabric. So if you're going to use this, for example, for bottoms or for a top, you will usually have a lining. What I always do, I always bast stitch the lining together with with the main fabric, so the two layers of fabric are matched together, right? I'm going to actually try to divide this piece in two, so I could pretend that one would be my main fabric. So I'm going to pretend that this is going to be my main fabric and this is going to be my lining. So the main fabric, I'm going to have it on the right side facing me, and I've turned this piece of fabric on the wrong side of the fabric, pretending like it's my lining. So what I'm doing actually first, I'm binding and I'm basting stitch. I'm doing a basting stitch. I try to go as close as I can to the edge, just like you're seeing it. Okay, so I've bast stitched my, let's call it, main fabric together with the lining. So the second layer, I will be considering it my lining. And always what I'm doing when I do bast stitch, I'm making small cuts through so it allows stretch to my fabric. So actually this is what I'm doing as well when I'm binding with my cover stitch machine. But let's imagine for a moment that you do not have a cover stitch machine, so you want to do this with your normal sew machine. So what you will have to do, you should have your fabric on the right side, and you will have the binding strap, which I've cut it 3 centimeters, and as long as you wish, always I recommend to have enough. You will have it also on the right side. So you can do this two ways, but when I do the binding, I usually, like with my sew machine, I usually prefer to add the strap first on my lining side. So I'm going to go, I place it over like that, facing, let's say, right side together, right, of the binding and of the fabrics. And I have now put my settings into my zigzag stitch, and I usually have it around 3, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in a zigzag stitch. I'm so sorry I didn't choose another color for you to see it better. Color thread, I mean. So I'm doing the first like that, the zigzag stitch over my binding and my lining side like that, and look how beautiful it is. I always choose a zigzag stitch because it allows stretch to my fabric. And the next thing I am going to add, actually, I'm going to add elastic to my binding. So this is for 2 reasons. I always add elastic to my binding because I feel like it gives a better stretch. but also because you will see it's easier in the next step. So I've placed the elastic, I have a rubber elastic, I place it on top of my wrong side of the binding strap, and I will do the same. I will do a zigzag stitch. And actually for this step, it's quite important that you go not too fast, because with the normal sew machine, it can move a little bit. All right. So this is my elastic. It's already added. And the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold the binding. I'm going to fold it once and then fold it once more over. So I just practically fold the binding inside, 1 and 2, right? And here you can choose whether you want to do a normal zigzag stitch or a triple zigzag stitch. So I usually choose a 3-step zigzag stitch, but I'm honest to you, if your machine does not have it, is as useful. So I will be folding it over like that, and I will be making sure that I am covering my original stitch, right? My original 2 stitches actually. The first was the binding, the basting, and then there was the zigzag stitching of the binding strap, and I hold it like that with my hand. All right. So if you wish your binding to be a little bit more thinner, then I recommend you to cut the binding strap at maybe 2.5 centimeters. This would be then a little bit thinner. I chose to have it a little bit thicker, right? And now I'm going to show you how you can do this binding without the folding over, in case you do not wish. So the idea is to fold the binding strap in 2, just like that, and you will be placing it on top of your fabric, and then you can zigzag stitch like this. So for this way, which is actually much easier, you do not need to add necessarily elastic, although I always recommend it. But if you feel like adding elastic is a difficult step for you, then you shall not necessarily add elastic. It's always optional. Okay, so I've zigzag stitched like you've seen on top of my main fabric, and the next thing you will have to do, because otherwise your stitch will stay like this, you will have to fold it over and do another zigzag stitch over. So I've just literally this is literally just to hide your seam. So I've folded like this, and with the same zigzag stitch, I'm just going over. So I know that perhaps many of you will find this technique much easier. It gives a beautiful result as well. All right. So here is the second binding. Of course, there is a raw side and there is the good side, but yeah, the result is as well. Beautiful. I hope you find it helpful and happy sewing.